So I love YouTube. I love it so much. And ultimately, I love helping people be successful on the platform. And in this live stream, we're going to actually cover what you need to do in 2024 to really succeed when it comes to YouTube. Now, some of you might be just starting out. That's okay. Some of you might be been doing it for quite some time, looking to get a little bit more serious, to maybe quit your day job and be a full-time creator. That's okay too. And some of you probably are just crushing it and looking to get to that next level. And you're wondering, where is YouTube actually going with things, and what would I actually focus in on when it comes to the new year? So guys, I am so excited for this live stream, because we're gonna go through the depths of where I think YouTube's gonna actually navigate and have been navigating for quite some time. And I also see some pretty big missteps that's actually happening in the industry. And I've seen it before, but in different ways. And I want to share with you that as well. And then ultimately, I have some predictions that things that you want to consider if you really are seriously trying to make it on YouTube or take it to that level of seriousness in that regard. And then at the very end, I'm going to jump on and answer your questions, regardless of what it is. We'll just go ahead and spend the latter part of this live stream on this. Now, that being said, I'm really excited about 2024, and the reason why is because there's so many new things that we can get excited for, and YouTube's mature enough as a platform to really do it the right way. And ultimately, I'm really excited for a lot of projects that I've personally been working on in channels that we actually own, and ultimately one other thing. And this one's a really fun one, because I'm a dad, and I love my family. I love the family interaction. And I have a son that actually worked for my agency pretty aggressively, over the years. And he's kind of grown up with YouTubers, and some of the biggest YouTubers on the planet are his friends, and they hang out and all that other stuff. But he's been able to have inside access to all world of YouTube behind the scenes, and he just wants to do it. Maybe not necessarily as a creator, but he wants to do it as kind of a strategist, something like I do. And ultimately, he put his life on hold for 2 years, and he went down to Brazil and was a missionary and teaching people, and helping and serving people. And it was just beautiful to see him kind of grow as an individual. And, when he came back, he's like, Dad, I really, really, really want to get involved with the business. I really want to get involved more in depth than I have in the past. What should I do? And here you had a lot of choices going to the university and getting a degree of some sort, or really understanding some things, about the industry, and getting some inside access. And I says, well, tell me what you want to do. And this is point number one for everyone that is serious on YouTube. I want to know where you want to be. And I says, tell me what you want to do. Where would that be for you? What was that finish line? What does that actually look like? And he goes, well, I grew up around this. I've been able to see, just kind of the lifestyle, and also how fun it is, and how your creativity is able to come out. And, you're able to do these cool, massive projects, worked with some of the most amazing brands in the world, and some of the most amazing creators in the world. And I just want to do that. I think I have a knack for it. And first off, he does. And he goes, well, what, And I went deeper. I says, do you want to be in front of the camera, or do you want to be behind the camera? And he's like, definitely behind the camera. I want to be a strategist. So we just sat down and started to talk. So we knew where he wanted to be. We had a finish line. And I says, well, what you're going to need to do is, a lot of things changed on YouTube in the last 2 years when you put your life on hold, went, as a missionary in Brazil, and you need to be caught up to speed. And you need to understand where the dynamic of the viewership's going, and ultimately things that you're actually going to connect with. And I says, if you commit to this, this is in July, mind you. You commit to this, we'll create a path forward for you to really understand and leverage YouTube and do what you want to do. And what was really cool about that was the first assignment that I gave him was to go on and do what I call recon and research, like kind of understand the landscape. Now, the thing I did a little bit differently, he wasn't necessarily starting a YouTube channel, but I'm like, there's certain things that you need to see, and I want you to see them for what they are. And I says, there is one YouTube creator I want you to look at, and I want you to watch every single video over the last 2 years that he actually has created. And he's like, well, okay, Mr. Beast. I'm like, no. Like we're not doing Mr. Beast. Like you've already, you know, like you're very connected with Mr. Beast. You understand Mr. Beast very specifically on that. And I says, I want you to look at this one creator who I believe tells a really, really great story. Now, there's other creators that tell a great story. I'm actually kind of pulled in, and I says, I want you to watch him very specifically of how he brings people on the journey with him, how he creates this hook, which is the packaging of the title and thumbnail, how he pulls them into a video on after the click, you know, right there, and then really setting up the story, but the points of engagement along the way. And I says, if you can do that, that's great. So he actually went through the process and went through every single one of these videos. And after the third one, he goes, man, dude, he's come a long way. Like I remember him 2 years ago, and he's like totally on a different stratosphere. And I'm like, yeah, no, he's really good. And for those that are wondering right now which channel this is, it's Ryan Trahan. Ryan Trahan. Love the guy. Think him and Haley are some of the nicest people ever. But I wanted my son to start seeing a good example of what a YouTube creator can do. Now, what you don't know, a lot of you that see Ryan Trahan, is his company is really, really small. Like there's not a lot of people helping him put in videos and time and energy and effort into it. And I wanted to be able to do that into comparison of the hundreds of people that help Mr. Beast, so that you're able to see, hey, you can still grow and get views. It's all about understanding your audience and bringing value and then pulling them into storytelling. Storytelling is extremely important. And so one of the things to be successful on YouTube in 2024 is to improve your storytelling. And ultimately, as humans, we want to connect. And the best way to connect is through communication and to really go in depth on storytelling. And so as my son's going through this, he's starting to really start to understand, here's some great channels. And I says, okay, that's really good. Now I want you to go through some other type of content. Now we were long form. Now I want you to do short form. And there's one creator I want you to watch. And I pulled up Zach King's TikTok and also YouTube channel. And I says, I want you to see how he does it. Now, this is a little bit different, quite a bit different actually, because the value proposition and the size of the video is completely different on Ryan Trahan's versus Zach King. But ultimately, there is value coming, and you can kind of almost expect things, and you kind of look forward to it once you understand who Zach King is. So, like, realistically, you know, my son's been surrounded by these guys, so he knows them by name and they know him. And, you know, he started watching his videos, and how clever Zach's videos are, and that process that he goes through in just the short. Now, in context, a 30-second short versus a 12-minute, 15-minute video, production-wise, is almost probably the same, like in a sense of how much time they take to capture the footage and edit and get down to the actual video. And so there's a lot of energy that goes into a short form piece of content just as much as a long form. So now Zach has a bigger team than Ryan, and Zach goes through a process to get it out the door. Now, that being said, the energy and effort is probably equivalent to the long form video from the short. And so as he was going through it, he started to see themes, and he could almost predict it. And he's like, okay, this is what's going to happen in the videos. And surprise and delight, it does. Or something else happens and it surprises him and delights him on that. And so he went through some very specific case studies, and I'm trying to communicate with him okay, tell me who the viewer is and what they can expect. And we did it from both scenarios. Okay, we did it from Ryan Trahan and also Zach King. Now, you might say, okay, Daryl, that's great that you're teaching your son to really look at successful YouTubers, and there's the traits that they need to understand. Now, the reason why I picked those two case studies is because, number one, I think they're some of the most amazing channels on the freaking planet. Number two, it's a great example of what you can create with an amazing team or with a very small team. You know, it's just more about you and your creation process and your way to connect and bring value to a video. And so we actually had a really in-depth conversation. Now this, mind you, this is 6 months ago. Okay, so we're coming into August and whatever, and I'm like, okay, let's go into it. Now that being said, I says, I want you to now consume YouTube a lot more in depth. And he goes, okay, well, how do I do that? And I says, okay, what I want you to do is go watch one other person. And this person you don't even know, but she's coming to speak at Vid Summit. And ultimately she was able to get over 2 million subscribers, well, almost 2 million subscribers at the time, in less than a year. And, you know, over like 800 million video views. And I introduced him to Jenny. Now, he never seen Jenny at all. Didn't know Jenny existed, even though that Jenny's, like, I love mentoring her. She's amazing. But I wanted to see if he was able to truly understand who her audience really is and who they're tackling. Okay, so they went in depth, and he started watching and binge watching all of Jenny's content, and ultimately he came back to me and says, look, I see where she is. She's about being frugal, saving money, getting the discount deals. I'm like, spot on, man. That is spot on. And then why did these videos not perform? Well, because it wasn't frugality, it wasn't getting the deals, it wasn't other. And I says, okay, that's great. So you identify where the value that people find into it. Now, also tell me what her brand is. And she dresses a certain way, and she has her Crocs and, you know, her glasses and her t-shirt and stuff like that. And just really iconic, right? But it literally is the way that she edits too. Like it is almost predictable of how she's pulling it in and going from there. And so we had a really in-depth conversation on that as well. Now you might say, okay, Daryl, that's great. I really do believe, you know, that you really focus in on the audience, try to understand. No, I want you to understand this, okay? Here's my son wanting to do what I do, and I want him to start seeing patterns of things that you can look for as a creator to know what to do, okay? Know what's gonna work. And sometimes the biggest issue that we have and what we face is when we're trying to take steps closer to where we wanna be, and we have a big rock in front of us, right? And ultimately that's a huge rock. Well, what I want you to do is take that rock and not move it. Don't walk around it, just step on it, okay? That'll elevate your channel, okay? It's there, you just need to understand what it is. You wanna go up and step on it, and you're gonna just go up. And really, it won't be a stumbling stone, it will be a stepping stone. And so for me, you know, I want my son to understand that, and so I go a lot more in depth on the audience. Now, that was August, September, and we're getting into it. And I says, okay, now I want you come Vid Summit, you're gonna be my assistant. Okay, generally I have someone just kind of following me around, they'll take pictures or whatever. And I just says, I want you to hear the conversations that I have. And I want you to find the patterns that these creators have when they're struggling on YouTube or they're succeeding on YouTube. And I want you to understand how the conversation changes between the type of creators that you're surrounded by. And he goes, okay, that's great. And I talked to thousands of people at Vid Summit, and you know, and every night he's like, oh my gosh, like, got so much wisdom from this person and this person. Like Preston Plays is like super amazing on really how to build his team and blah, 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 and went way down in depth on these conversations. And I said, what was the common theme of someone that was just starting out on YouTube? What was some of the questions that they have? And he goes, well, I can tell you this. He goes, I can say that the people that were really focused in on views weren't really seeing where to get those views coming from. They were really saying, I don't want to be the biggest. I want to have the most views. I want to go like that. And they were thinking about the idea, but they weren't thinking about the viewer. I says, okay, very good, very good. And I says, what about the people that are full-time? Well, full-time, they're trying to figure out, how do we actually scale it? How do we actually build teams? What do we need to do when it comes to YouTube in the sense of have long-term sustainability and predictability? I says, okay, that's great. What about the top 1%? And that's where it was pretty amazing. And I really loved it. And he was like, they were just talking about things they're doing now to change the next 5 years. I'm like, very good, very good. So that was kind of a nutshell. Now, here's the thing. I'm a pretty good at helping my son, kind of come into this mix. And I says, okay, where do you believe 2024 is going to be? And he goes, honestly, Dad, he goes, AI. And I says, well, maybe, there'll be some components to it. And he, since he was gone, he came back and the whole world was about AI, and he was doing stuff in Photoshop, and, there's so many great things that are happening out there. And I says, yeah, like this has happened before, and, in different ways and different technologies, different tools. But is it going to replace? And he goes, no, it's not going to replace. It's just going to enhance. It'll be used as a tool, not to replace. And I says, okay, well, now here's your true assignment. This is after Vid Summit. We're pretty much in November now, and all he's doing is consuming content. He went through my channel Jumpstart. It's a 12-week program. He went in depth on that, watched every video, went through past Vid Summits that I said, watch this specific talk. You need to see it on this specific section. So I'm just trying to fill him with as much information. Okay. And then in November, I says, okay, I want you to know, guess what your first thing to do to be a YouTube strategist? And he goes, well, what's that, Dad? I says, you just can't give people strategy unless you understand the pains to create a channel. And so I says, you have to get a silver play button, even be considered, to get to that graduation of getting up and helping in other aspects. And I says, we won't employ you. We won't do anything until you can get that silver play button. And he goes, whoa, that's pretty strict, Dad. I says, well, but every strategist in my company has had to get silver and gold play buttons, and that's something that you're going to need to do. And I says, okay, you need to come up with a plan of how you're going to do that in 2024. And I will look at your plan and I will give you feedback. But it's your responsibility to go through what you've learned in Channel Jumpstart, what you've learned in the YouTube formula, and I want you to apply it, and I will give you personalized feedback so you can understand the things you need to focus in on. And so anyway, he went and he decided to do a faceless channel, which I recommended that he did that. If he wanted to be behind the camera, it's just easier to do a faceless channel so that you can actually still navigate life and not have to be in front of the camera. And ultimately, come up with a plan. And so he thought that his best way to do it is in shorts. And I says, that's great. However, you got to do long form too. I says, you just can't do shorts. Shorts is easy. You could probably get a silver play button tomorrow. What you need to do is actually get a long form audience. And we talked about retention level and stuff like that. So this is where the rubber meets the road. He put together one of the most detailed plans that I've ever seen anyone put together. Now, keep in mind, this kid was actually doing some of the audits in our agency before he put his life on hold and went down to Brazil to be a missionary. But he literally has done the detailed audits, and he understands the data, and he understands the connection. He just needed to have a little bit more clarity of what's changed the last couple of years. And so he put this really good plan together. I looked at it, and I gave him a full hour of me just kind of analyzing it. And I pretty much said, this is not good. And he got really defensive. And Kelton, if you're watching, I love you, but got really defensive. And I says, why are you getting defensive? And he goes, well, it could do this. It could be so amazing. And this is a great way. And here's my buckets, and here's my videos. And I says, you don't see what I see. And he goes, what do you mean by that, Dad? And so I then showed him what I saw. And I went through and I says, who's the audience here? Okay. Who's the audience here on this one? They're different audiences. Okay. And I got really, really granular with it. And I says, I don't see you. I said, you could get a play button here. I just don't think it's going to be the audience you think it's going to be. And you're misled by what you're seeing. And so I got very, very granular, and I says, that's just not going to work, man. It's not. Like, you're going to compete, and there's nothing that's going to elevate you to where you need to be. And then also you says, oh, here's this content that really performed, but I'm not going to do this because it's showing things that I don't feel like it's appropriate on YouTube. I says, okay, that alone should tell you that you shouldn't be in that space, right? And so anyway, we're coming down to the end of November, and I'm like, you got to have a plan together. You got to put a plan together because 2024 is coming up. I want to know what you're going to do. And it was last week that he presented another plan, and within 5 minutes, I knew this plan was going to work. And the reason why is he identified who the viewer is. He understood the content that performs really well and what doesn't perform well. And he also looked at the capability of what is that hook, what is the way to pull them in. And ultimately he came up with a pretty good plan. Now, for me, I like internally, I was like a proud papa. I was like, this is like amazing. I wish everyone on the planet had this plan together. It would take this much detail, like literally 6 months of understanding things and getting ready to shoot and going. And ultimately, I was really proud, but I said this, I says that, well, I can't give you sign off on this plan. And I need you to go and present it to the president of our company, who is Justin Smith. And I says, you do to Justin. Justin has no clue what you're doing. And I want you to go do that. And so he went and presented it to Justin. And Justin says, hey, yep, this is really good. And have you thought about this, and this? And he goes, no. And they came back and the plan got enhanced. Now, why did I do that? Why did I send him to someone besides myself? I can tell you why. Because if I would have done it my way, it would have been, Dad, help me get to this channel. He figured out the holes, right? I ain't figuring out squat for this kid. Like, I'm not. If he asks me questions, I will tell him yes. Okay, he needs to figure it out. And so I sent him back over to somebody else. They could have conversations, but he needs to intellectually understand what works and doesn't work. And then he needs to also understand how much it takes to create content on YouTube and understand the dynamics of it and what is worth your time and what's not worth your time. And so they came back with a plan, and he has a list of about 200 videos that he wants to make. And he is starting in 2024 when we get back from our Christmas trip. Now, that being said, why would I take the time, energy, and effort to really share with you how to really be successful in 2024 by sharing this experience that is happening in real time right now? Okay, why would I do that? And the reason why is sometimes when we actually go through the process of going on YouTube, we're not giving much forethought. We're just saying, I'm going to do it. And I've heard this 100 times and probably 1,000 times. I just need to make 100 videos. Well, I've heard that before. Okay. And I've heard that before. Okay. And I understand it's getting through the process of creating and getting away from the cringe factor and so on and so forth. And taking action. So I'm not discounting the 100 videos before you actually make a good video. I'm not discounting that at all. However, I truly do believe that the generation that's coming up has consumed so much YouTube that they know what good content is. He does. He's been surrounded by it. He knows what a great video is. It's instinctually in him. I don't think he needs to wait 100 freaking videos to before he can become good. What he needs to do is know what makes it good and why it's good, and how the audience is responding and craving more. And so he presented his plan, and he had the videos. He's really excited about it. And he's going to need to earn his way to become a YouTube strategist. You just can't just give YouTube advice without having case study. That's just been my, my thing, And so anyway, here's the thing. All of you that want to succeed in 2024, what you can learn from that story is put time, energy, and effort in the planning phase of understanding who your viewer really is, understanding your content, how it's going to be impact, but how it's going to be consistent. The consistency of Zach King, Jenny, and also Ryan Trahan is amazing. The consistency of a Mark Rober, a Mr. Beast, is amazing. The consistency of a Michelle Khare is amazing. MyON Golden, amazing. Okay, so it's like really developing the pattern of how to create content, what people would find valuable, and doing that consistently without burning yourself out. And so if you want to succeed in 2024, I would put the time, energy, and effort to really start understanding your audience. Really go through what I call recon and research every day. Like, see what's out there, see what's engaging. Don't only look in your niche, look outside your niche and say, look, oh, they did this. Maybe I can apply it in my video this way. And that will connect and really find smart creators, because there's amazing creators out there. There's amazing creators out there. Okay. Now, don't get so hyper fixated that you get stuck in a rabbit hole and you're not creating content. I don't think that's going to be helpful, but you need to be able to set aside time. So if you want to be successful in 2024, I would designate a period of time every day that you're doing recon and research, and you're trying to understand better the viewer that you're actually creating content for. Whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, I probably wouldn't do more than that. I don't think it's necessary, but ultimately that, okay? Next, it's about understanding what to do with that information, and I always like to say, okay, what is gonna be the best video for them to watch right now that I'm the most excited about? And I know that they're gonna click on it and they're gonna watch it. And so those are the ideas that we try to facilitate. And then two, which ones we'd actually have budget to do it. So that is that first thing that I would do in 2024. Now I want to address AI. And for those that don't know, I've been talking about AI for over 10 years. I have. And I know that this is the future. I think it's going to disrupt the world. Like the internet, how it disrupted the world, it'll be kind of like this, and AI is going to be like that. It's just going to be massive, okay? And it's going to just literally transform in every aspect. Now, when it comes to YouTube, it prior to 2023 was a view-based algorithm. And it was a very complex thing, and it would go off of views and engagement and so on and so forth. And that's how people actually found videos and whatever, and how it kind of sorted. And Google decided, you know what? We're getting into the AI based, and they had a project called Google Brain at the time, and it's evolved into several different names. But they wanted to do an experiment on YouTube, and in 2012, they did an experiment, and everyone at YouTube thought that they were going to get fired because it wasn't going to work. But it magically created, it took a little bit of time for it to learn, and then it magically got more views, more engagement, achieved the goal, what YouTube wants, which is predict what the viewer wants to watch and keep them on the platform longer. And so much so that they switched it over in 2013. So in 2013, they've been literally running an AI. I know we call YouTube algorithm, it's the YouTube algorithm. Well, no, it's the YouTube AI. And the AI is looking very specifically at certain things, and it uses algorithms with an S to understand how to achieve what's it's directed to achieve. And then it's looking for unstructured data, structuring it in a way that it can predict what the viewer wants to watch and keep them on the platform longer. Okay, so that being said, I've been doing AI with automation and all this different stuff, and I could talk about projects and companies that I have some ownership in, but we don't need to go into that in depth. I just believe there's going to be two things that's going to happen, whether it's in 2024 or in other years. One is the massive adoption of using AI tools and also AI bots. So you're going to see a lot of people using AI bots and tools. And the second thing that you're going to see is you're basically have an AI apocalypse, not where the AI is going to go destroy the world, but YouTube's going to have to course correct and really try to stop that from happening. Because they want people to be behind it. Okay, and so they'll ways to have to detect. I mean, if you got into all the specifics of what they're doing, you would be shocked. Okay, but the reason why I say that's going to happen is because that's what's happened before. It's happened in every way. This is what happened. The first time I saw it is when people were doing clickbait back prior, the early on 2008, 2009, 2010, and they would click it and then it wouldn't even deliver on the promise. It was just about the title and thumbnail. And then ultimately, once they got them in, they got the view, got the money, and then YouTube clamped down on it. And then you had the adpocalypse, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you had the kidpocalypse. So there's a pattern of things that happens. Now, also they're like having a bot create YouTube accounts and download videos and upload them is not new to YouTube. It's been happening, and they've been shutting them down and really getting rid of those fake bots and stuff like that. But that right there is something that YouTube's going to need to address when it comes to AI. Now, you can see over the last little bit, we had Neil Moen, who's the CEO of YouTube, the new CEO of YouTube, who I love. I have worked with him, off and on throughout my career, and he's also for the creator. He will defend the creator until his last breath. He will. He's just that type of guy. What's been great is he's been very aggressive towards helping creators. You can see that as he's taken over as CEO. And then two, he's made some very specific stance on how using some type of AI can break YouTube terms. And then also they're going to start tagging if it was like generated from AI, so the viewer can actually know when it is generated from AI or not. And so ultimately there's a lot of the stuff this is coming. And what I don't want you to do is get in the belief is, I can automate my whole creation process. And I don't believe that. I don't think that that's a healthy thing to do when it comes to creating content on YouTube. And I think that if you want to succeed in 2024, you'll see some people doing it and they're going to tout it. They're going to say, hey, I buy my course, I do this. They're going to say, this is the only way to do it. And then you're going to see that one day all their money just disappears. Okay. And why it disappears is because YouTube will shut them down. And so you got to figure out the real healthy balance of what it means. And so I'm a little bit, I'm bullish on AI. Trust me, I am. And I think it can speed up process systems, but I don't want it to replace the creator because I know that YouTube doesn't want to replace the creator. And plus, I would rather have better content. And some of my favorite content channels on YouTube, like literally if I was to say, hey, who's your favorite YouTubers of all time? It would be Cold Fusion, Wendover Productions, like any essay driven type channels. I just love it. And yeah, they can use some AI in that, and that's great, but the reality is I love how they pick the topics, how they are super relevant of what's happening in the world today. And they're telling the story of, and informing me on things that I didn't know I needed to know. And so my whole goal, when I'm helping either a student that I'm mentoring or my son that I'm mentoring, is let's create a process and a system to create long-term sustainability. Because what you don't want to do is the rug pulled out. You don't. I've seen it happen before. Like if there's ever a thing that I get a constant that happens as a YouTube strategist is the oh crap moments and help me Daryl. Okay. Help me Daryl because of this. Help me Daryl because of that. YouTube demonetized me. Help me Daryl. And honestly, it could have been avoided if they would actually listen to some of the things that I say, but ultimately get caught up and they go into I would say the gray aspects of content creation. They're not really saying, okay, no, let's stay on this side. Let's don't get so close to the line that we could actually have some carnage with our business. And so, and then I always look at ways to try to expand. Outside of YouTube. I think, if you're just putting all your eggs in YouTube, to expand, so your business plan needs to extend outside of that, and you need to be a lot more aggressive on that. So in 2024, it's really understanding the viewer, understanding that YouTube will be announcing using tools, AI natively in the platform, and they're going to be pro AI for certain things, and then certain things they're not. And you need to be cautious with that. One of the things that I'm going to tell you right now, if you're using AI generated audio for voice, yeah, watch out. Watch out for that. Like seriously, especially there's a lot of YouTube shorts channels and others that just are doing it. That's probably the biggest smoking gun right now, as having that standard voice that's being used. And so you definitely want to be cautious and careful with it. And there's ways that I would do to create content. But AI is definitely 2024. Yeah, we have a couple of companies that we have percent of ownership in, and we advise for, that are all AI, and we'll be talking about a lot of those over the years and stuff like that. But I don't think it's going away. I think it's going to be used as a tool to enhance. And when you ever have tools to enhance, people are going to abuse it. And I can guarantee you, YouTube's going to course correct. It's just going to happen. Okay. We got that. Okay. So here's the next thing. So we talked about the audience. We talked about AI. And I want to really focus in on this next one. I think a lot of you on this live stream have a lot of questions about how to do certain things. And I want to go back to a recent conversation that I had with a consult, and then this consult kind of turned sour after the fact. But someone paid a lot of money for an hour of my time, busy, and so you get an hour of my time for a certain amount. And they're like, "Tell me what's wrong with my channel, how I can improve." And I did, and I did it in a very simplistic way of everything they're doing wrong, and where they need to improve and where they put their focus in on. And they're like, "Oh man, you didn't tell me anything new that I didn't know." Well, my question to them is, well, why aren't you doing it? Like, why do I need to reiterate? And they says, well, that, I read your book and I understand that's where it's at. Well, no. But why are you doing it? Because why aren't you doing it? And so I think there's a lot of you here that know what to do, but you're resistant to do it. And so to succeed, I just want you to focus and have the mentality of this. Okay, this is it. And if you want to be successful in 2024, I do believe if you have this mentality, it will help you succeed in all aspects of your life, not just on YouTube. Okay, which is this: being humble and realizing that what you put out needs to improve. Like, it's not perfect. And if you don't cringe watching one of your olden videos from 60 days ago, then you're not improving. Okay, you're always stuck in the freaking rut. And so for me, that sense of humility and realizing, I can always improve, and you get excited about improving, and you get excited when you do things to improve, and you can see the different level of content. Now, I can tell you that the top YouTubers on the planet, every single one that I've ever worked with, every single one that I talked to, is obsessed of making the best video. They're obsessed of putting out the most amazing content. And when they stop doing that, when they start focusing in on, I got an audience and I don't need to be as intentional for it because they love me, they get the, help me, Daryl moment. Okay, they really do. They can say, what's going on? I can't figure it out. Like, YouTube hates me. YouTube hates everything that I do because I'm not getting the views I did. Well, what did you stop doing? Trying to improve. Everything that you've been doing is the same old, same old. You can't do that. You got to improve every single moment. Okay, and look at the small little details. It could be actually through editing, through sound design. It could be through some camera. It could be through some creativity and storytelling. But you got to improve. Got to improve. And I'm here to tell you that you gotta just suck it up and realize that your videos are not as good as you think they are. And figure out what you can improve. Now, I just saw a comment from someone that is in my mentoring program, and I had a really good interaction with him. And this week, and I was really excited about it. And it has to do with this. Okay, there's some of you actually make good videos, and you don't think that you do. Okay, I'm not saying, hey, you need to beat up on yourself saying that you make good videos or not. And when I look at his videos, they're actually really good. Could they be better? Abso-freaking-lutely. That's what I'm saying. Okay. And so I think there's like the good, better, best scenario where, hey, they're good. How do we make them better? How do we make them the best? That's the mentality that I want to have you be in. Okay. Be humble enough to say, oh, I can't improve, but don't beat yourself up and say, oh, it's the worst video ever. Okay. I want you just to improve. And you improve so much that when you look at your older videos, that's when you want to cringe. And so for me, that's where it comes together. So the reality of trying to improve every video, trying to really connect with your audience in every video, trying to anticipate, hey, my audience would love this if I did that. That's great. Now, there's some of you that have a hard time with this because your videos are about self-creation. And I'm saying, yeah, if they're about self-creation, that's great. And if you are not making your videos for someone, then don't expect more than one view because you made it for yourself. Okay, for your self-expression. Okay, that's great. Okay, but if you want to consistently, bring value to a viewer, and you understand who the viewer is, then you're going to see momentum, and you're going to see things that you're going to have videos that you've never really considered. That just pop off, and you're going to say, oh, they really responded well to this. I actually enjoyed making this. And so let's kind of go from there. That's where I want you to be, is very critical with your content, always trying to improve, always looking at, some amazing channels. Now I want to give a conversation I had at the beginning of last year. I guess it was it was last year. And they said, oh, it's great and all, but my niche is oversaturated. Okay. My content's good. And we do it this way, and it's just oversaturated. That's the reason why I'm not getting the views. Okay. Who's fell into that trap before, saying, hey, what I'm doing on YouTube, it's oversaturated. That's why I'm not growing. Put it in the comments. I want to see that. Okay. And I says, yeah, tech on YouTube is oversaturated. That's true. Okay. It is true. But what is your unique value proposition? What are you trying to do? What's going to distinguish you different than, like a Marquise Brownlee? What are you going to do differently than an iJustine, right? And they're like, well, I'm just doing the review. I'm giving my take. My take is what it is. And I says, well, if it's just your take, then that doesn't distinguish it. It's just your opinion, and everybody has an opinion, okay? And what's going to make you different? And they're like, well, it just doesn't work that way in tech. And I says, well, what about Mr. Who's the Boss? Well, he's not really a tech channel. I'm like, yes, he is. He just does it differently than other people you watch. So don't tell me it's oversaturated. Okay, another one of my favorite examples and one of my favorite talks at Vid Summit, some of my favorite people too, is Cash and Nico. Here they started a Minecraft channel, okay, this year. And if there's ever a niche that's oversaturated, it's Minecraft. If you were to take every niche and put it side by side, Minecraft would dwarf everything. It just would. It's just literally the most oversaturated thing. Now, how are they able to grow as fast as they did? Getting well over 1 billion video views in a year, getting on not only one channel, like 5 million subscribers on one channel and another 2 million on another, and then Nico's channels like 3 million or something like that. They have multiple things in Roblox and Minecraft. How are they able to do it? And then two, when you go watch their videos, it's like 30-minute videos. That's literally unedited. There's not much in the fast-paced stuff ever. And you're like, how does that even happen? And it's because they focused in on something that I told you earlier on this live stream, which is storytelling. And they are amazing storytellers. They are. They're just, there's just not even a world that they're not interested. I literally have had grown adults at my house, and I says, check out this channel, and they were sucked into the story. And like, how is this even possible? Because they're interesting. They're great storytellers. Okay. And so when you have that, like, I just want you to make the best video you possibly can, and really look, how can I improve? How can I make it better? And then that's where you find your lane. You really do. I've seen it over and over and over again, where you found your unique value proposition that distinguishes your content different than everybody else, and people want to click on it and watch it. And so in 2024, I can honestly say that YouTube's getting so smart. It is. The AI is so smart, but the audience is smarter. You're getting some very intellectual people that know great content, and they're young. Like, some of the best viewers of all time are Gen Alpha. You know, they're middle school right now, and they're looking for a specific type of content. And there's a new trend that's happening with that group too. And it's not the fast-paced, fast cut. They want authenticity. They want, you know, to be entertained in unique ways. And so you're seeing a lot of people break out because they understand who their audience is and understand what type of content that they love. Okay. So ultimately, when it comes back down to this, you know, as my son's getting ready to start his brand new channel and earn his play button so that he can continue to grow in the company and become a strategist and work with some of our content, you got to know where to focus. And I can tell you right now, with some tools with YouTube that I've been asking for years. And here's a funny little story. 9 years ago, guess who had the A/B testing tool, thumbnail testing tool on YouTube? I did. I really did. And what was crazy was, anytime I needed to test it, I had to email like this special email, and they would switch out my thumbnail. And then they were testing it, and I was like, holy cow. It was so crazy. So like 9 years ago, I've been doing it, and I've been waiting for them to do it. Now, here's the great news is 2024, everybody's going to have it. And there's some great things to consider, and, you know, there's a lot to learn and stuff to do. What I want everyone to do in 2024 and how to be successful is to have 3 ready to go thumbnails. I want 2 of your best specific thumbnails. And then I want a thumbnail that is going to just, like, it's radically different. And what I mean by that, it isn't just a small variation between the two, but it's radically different. And I want you to use that tool. And the reason why, and why I would encourage my son to use it, is you want to use the tool to see, hey, which one is the best thumbnail? Now, that being said, a lot of you could instinctually do this fairly well. But there's outliers. One of my students, his name's Foot Crunch, did one of the most amazing presentations on thumbnails I've ever seen in my life. It was done at Vid Summit 2 years ago. And I can honestly say he did a thumbnail strategy that it blew my mind, because I was always talking about, hey, you want to understand, you know, click-through rates, but you want to understand it from your traffic source. And generally, the traffic source that you get right out of the gate is browse feature, which is homepage and subscription feed, and then you'll get a little bit of trickle over to suggested videos. And then as you know, the video starts climbing in hours and days watched, then browse comes down and suggested comes up, and you might have some external traffic and other stuff like that. But you want to be looking at that click-through rate. And he noticed that, you know, over the course of 30 days, you know, if he would switch out the thumbnail, he would get, when it shifted over to a certain type of traffic, he would get an additional million views. like you can see right when he did it, and the data, it would just kind of go out. So it's really interesting to see when it should occur and how often. And he was able to hit it every single time to get an additional 1 million views. If the video had certain metrics, he would just get an additional 1 million views. And what the craziest thing was, it was if you were to take the both thumbnails, one is the iconic YouTube thumbnail that everybody would click on. It's true. And one is a piece of garbage. And I mean that. It's a piece of garbage when you put the two side by side, and you're like, why does this one perform and this one performs later? And it has everything to do with understanding your audience and knowing what traffic they come from. And just because you think it's really good over here, yeah, that might be perfect for browse feature. Those are your most loyal viewers, people that are actively viewing your channel. What's good for you outside of that? Do you even know? And so using the AB thumbnail tool is really, really, really amazing. Okay. And I'm here to tell you, I want you guys actively to do it. Now, what I don't want you to do is to make a bad judgment on when to switch it out. Okay, you got to be very intentional when to switch it out and why you're switching it out, and really giving it enough data to do it the right way. And I would say, if it was me, if I had access to the tool, this is one thing that I would do right now, is I'd go back to some of your older performing videos, the videos that performed really well on browse feature. That's the homepage subscription feed. And you can see in the graph about every 120 days or so, you get traffic coming from it. You can just see it just kind of, bump up every time. And I would do an A/B test on that video. Okay. And the reason why, and I do it right around about the time where the traffic's coming in. Okay. So for that you'll, and it could be, you might say, well, I don't want to do that because that video is performing or whatever. Well, it's not performing that good, but see what happens on that one. Okay. Now, that being said, a lot of this is rolling out now. The A/B testing tool, but you'll see in 2024, you'll have that. And then there's going to be some dubbing stuff. YouTube's really trying to localize a lot of the content. Okay. So moving on, to the success on, YouTube in 2024 is really hone in on owning your audience. I get this question probably asked more than anything else. How long should my videos be? And, what type of format do I need to do? Is shorts killing my channel? Is long form dead? Should I do live streams? What I teach, and this is always misunderstood until my students really grasp it. But what I teach is how to really know who will watch your videos, and then creating a content strategy around your passion and the way that you communicate the best to really navigate and bring value consistently to those viewers. And a lot of people think that I hate search. I don't hate search. Search has made me a lot of money over the years. And I just view it differently than someone that discovers it on the homepage. I just do it. And I have a different mechanism. And I'm always fascinated to see people that take a stance that says, no, the only way you can succeed in business, okay, is if you do exact match titling for search, and it's going to bring you, customers and leads and all that other stuff. And I'm like, that's great. But what I would like to do is appeal to YouTube, finding who my audience is, and really creating an offer that they would want to really connect with. And I want to give you an example of a guy that goes to events, sells from stage, gets people to go into this program. One of the most amazing people I've ever met. And he has been on YouTube for 13 years, uploading content very consistently. I guess inconsistently. He's consistently putting up, but he was just using it as a repository of all his content. And he heard me present at an entrepreneurs group and wanted me to mentor him. And this is what I love about this guy. He goes, he's pulled out his checkbook. I'm like, who writes with checks anymore? And he goes, I'm writing you a check right now. And he goes, I will promise you this, I will be your best student you've ever had. I'm like, come on, man. I've had a lot of students. Yeah. And here's the guy that has a ton of students. And I says, okay, that's fine. And so he writes out a check, tells me, he said, I will do everything you tell me to do. And so we took him through my 12-week program, and it was him and his team that came on, and we went way in depth with him. He paid for a little bit more access than most. And we got to the level where he was putting out his first video. And I'm like, oh man, that's okay. I was hoping that this would be better. And he goes, well, do tell. And I says, well, the person, and I'll say his name's MyON Golden. I says, the MyON that I see on stage isn't the same MyON I see in these videos. He goes, well, it's because I need audience. I need that energy. And I says, no, I think what you need is to see if you're connecting, if your message is connecting, and you need that feedback so you actually can know where to navigate that. And I says, all you got to do is do a Zoom, and you can record your videos or go live, and you can see that audience interaction, or record live in a live studio audience. So you can have that perspective. He did that. And what's amazing from that was his leads, that came in. Well, let me take one step back. I said, if you're going to be a student of YouTube, just realize that who your customer is and who you think your customer is isn't necessarily who your viewer is. And I says, if YouTube can figure out who your viewer is, and it's going to be differently than who you think your customer is, then your customer will start to compound. In fact, you'll see a shift in your customer data. And he goes, don't understand what you said, but okay. And so I wouldn't let him buy an ad. I wouldn't let him do his email list. I wanted it to be solely YouTube. And he came on, did a YouTube, and he got better and better, and he was trying to refine his video content. Like, his leads came in and went up 4,000%. How do you get 4,000% more leads? It's just like, it's crazy what can happen when you can actually grow. And then too, he was kind of blown away. He's like, YouTube paid me, big 6 figures for uploading YouTube videos. I'm like, yes. And he goes, that's crazy. And then his business exploded. And he goes, it's the number one thing that has transformed his business is when he figured out his audience and figured out who he's creating content for, and it really just kind of explode. And some of you actually know him, and you see what he's doing. And he got 500,000 subscribers in a year. It's just great to see that, him really exploding on it. He'll be one that will be giving case study after case study after case study after case study, because he's truly connecting and bringing value consistently in every video. He is. Okay. So that being said, I can honestly tell you that when you use YouTube, I want you to use it to bring as much value as you possibly can to that viewer, but then don't compromise what YouTube's trying to do. Okay, YouTube's trying to get people to go deeper into content. So watch longer and go deeper. So don't think that your videos need to be 2 minutes, 3 minutes, right? And if you want to do 2 or 3 minutes, and that's where you feel like that's where you can bring the most value, then do it. I'm just saying is, I want them to go deeper so that the average view per viewer goes from like 1.7 up to 9. 9 videos in a period that they're just binge watching over and over and over. And you might say, oh, that doesn't happen. And I'm telling you, I own channels that they do. like they come on and they become very loyal to that. And so for me, I can tell you, I want you to succeed in 2024, and I want you to really consistently bring in that value to that viewer, and then really hone in on your content strategy. Okay. And that content strategy is going to be developed through your data. And so I can tell you that there are creators out there. There's some of them that don't even look at their data, but they do. They say they don't look at analytics, but they do. And what I mean by that is they can tell, they don't go into maybe YouTube Studio and go into the data, but they're looking at their view count and their comment count and their engagement count. And they can tell where people are disconnecting. I can tell you, I've had those conversations with them. They says, I know exactly the moment that they just disconnected with the content. Okay, so in 2024, I also want you to understand the viewer's journey. Okay, there was a spreadsheet that Mr. Beast made, I don't know, 6 years ago, and he would go and use the YouTube studio and in comments, and he would write down, "Oh, I just found this channel," and phrases like that. "I can't believe I found this channel," or "found this channel," or something like that. And then he would search all the users that would use that. And what he did is he kept a spreadsheet of every user of what they commented on after that video. So he said, okay, the video, column for that user, whatever, and then what videos they actually watched. And he was able to find out very specifically what brought them in and also what they watched next. Now, there's a lot of data that YouTube gives us. And in fact, there's no other platform out there that gives you the data that YouTube does. And they're like, every day it feels like Christmas for me because they're giving me more and more stuff that I wanted. Some of the stuff I've been asking for a very long time was the returning viewer metrics in advanced mode. And so they've been able to get new and returning viewer metrics in it. So they're always giving you that. And the data was there, but it didn't give you by the viewer, right? So like he was able to track it there and say, okay, they watched this one, and saw a pattern of the type of content that brought them in and then retained it, because it's all about acquisition, which is getting new people to discover you, and then retention, which is getting them to go down the rabbit hole, and then ultimately, you want to reduce your churn rate. You want to get them to become active in that so that they're always clicking on and watching your videos. And that's generally how Mr. Beast cracked the code of his audience and was able to predictably bring, 5 million views per video, and then it went up to 10 million views per video, and then it goes up to 100 million views per video, and then it goes up to 100 million views in 48 hours or whatever it is. It's just like he's cracked it on that. And it was just understanding the journey of the viewer once they do it. And then too, when they use comments, and I use this as a comment thread too, is like, oh, I just binge watched this channel. I just binged this channel, or the word binge. I like to identify them and start seeing them there with those types of comments. And so I know a lot of you can get very intimidated by analytics, and I don't want you to. I think, all the bells and whistles that YouTube gives us is to help us make better data-driven decisions. And that's what I love to do, is I love to make data-driven decisions. And ultimately, there's not a suite of tools that can give you better details of what's actually happening on your channel within that. And so, but what I can tell you everyone does, just because they do it, and I hate this this graph, which is 1 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and they get very depressed if it's 10 out of 10. And I hate that. I hate it because that's not actually accurate. It's accurate for when you released, but there's a lot of external things that are going on there, and you need to dig deeper for you to do it. So I think emotionally and for mental health issues, a lot of people stress out over things that they shouldn't. Oh, I got a 10 out of 10 4 times in a row. Okay, well, let's look deeper. Okay, that's superficial. There's a problem to go deeper in, and it might not be a problem. Let's just go ahead and look at it. Okay. And so YouTube is giving us tools to do it. And then some of you are very apprehensive to use the tools because of mental health challenges. And also, you just want to create, you don't want to get into the data. But I can say that for success, you need to understand and know what's happening. And you need to validate your hypothesis, because you have assumptions of what happens on your channel. Oh, I can't tell you how many times, oh, my video didn't perform because of this. I'm like, really? Like, how do you know that? And they says, well, I can just tell. And we go through the comments and we go through the data, and it's not even remotely close to what they thought. And so they have a wrong thought in their mind of why a video didn't perform. One of my favorites, this is like one of my favorites of all time, was I had this student. Went through my channel jumpstart 12 weeks, made their, when we go through this mentoring program, they can only focus on one video. Okay. One video, one bucket, one channel. That's it. I want you hyper focused on that. And they says, oh man, I put so much energy into it. And this is a 10 out of 10. Like I thought this was supposed to catapult my channel, jumpstart me to, new heights, whatever. And I says, well, let's look at it. And it was 10 out of 10, but the retention was like 82%. And I'm like, just give it some time. I says, give it some time. They're like, I don't know. And I says, just follow the system. Follow the system. And because Channel Jumpstart isn't a course, it's a system. And so anyway, they didn't do it. They just kind of been done or whatever. And they just didn't feel like it worked for them. So they just went back to the way that they were doing it before. It was 60 days later, okay, after they released the video. And it got more views on that video than their whole channel combined. Okay, all the channel combined just blew up. Okay. And they went back to, oh my gosh, it works. They were freaking out and it was great. And I says, why didn't you follow the system? And they says, well, I just didn't think it'd work. And I says, well, but let's be in context. If you would have followed the system, you would have had not one video, but 3 videos. 3 videos that would be performing. You got the most views that you've ever had on your channel on one video. You could have 2 other videos that was doing the same thing. They missed an opportunity. So they went and redid a video. They went and made a video and they were able to catapult that. It was the second highest performing video they've ever had. It outperformed everything on the channel. In fact, it got more views than all the other videos combined except for the main video. Okay. Did they lose it? No, but they lost the momentum because YouTube, they took so long to react that they missed this perfect moment because they didn't even follow the system. Like, come on now. So what I want you to do is look at the data and know what the data you should look at, which is simple. I'll tell you what it is. It's very, very easy. Look at the click-through rate by traffic source, not as the channel as a whole, not as the video from all the different things. It's very deceptive when you do it, but look at by the traffic source, okay? And all you want to do is get that higher than your previous baseline. Whatever your average is, you want to be above that, okay? Great, success, okay? Next, you want to retain people for the longest you possibly can. So if it's a 3-hour video, you want to retain them as high as you can, for as long as you can. If it's a 30-minute video, you want to do the same thing. If it's a 30-second video, you want to do the same thing. Okay, you want to get it higher. If it's a short, if you're not over 100%, then it's not a very good short. You got to watch it over and over again. Like you got to get it. So it's like 160%, 170%. And you might think, well, how does that even happen? It does because people want to watch it again. Every Zach King video, they watch it again because he says, oh, I got to watch that again and catch it again. So he's getting like 200%. Okay. So what we want to do is be able to have them click by traffic source and then retain on the video longer. Okay. Those are the 2 metrics you need to look at. Now, the third metric is the one that I love. The most underutilized section in analytics is the audience tab. Dude, YouTube is giving us gold here. Okay. You'll have blue and purple lines. Okay. The blue line is new viewers. Purple is returning viewers. You want purple above the blue. That means loyalty. Okay. But blue should come up at different times because YouTube's finding a new audience and then we're converting that audience into loyal viewers. Okay. And so they actually give you all the videos that are how they're performing. Okay. To turn a new viewer into a returning viewer. And they give you a list of those videos. You can click on it and you can see in 7 days how many people clicked on this video and how, what videos are actually extremely high of converting a new viewer into a returning viewer. Now, a lot of you might go to that tab and click on it and it'll say low, 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 low. Okay. Well, that's where you need to improve. Okay. Click through it by traffic source, retention, and that's it. Congratulations. Now, to do it, it's a little bit harder than just the simplicity, but those are the only things I focus in on. That's it. I just focus in on that. And so the more that you understand the viewer and focus in on those things, it's actually it's actually the way that you're connecting and getting, hey, this is valuable content from the click to the binge. That's it. Okay. So don't overanalyze more than that. I don't look at 10 out of 10. I look at momentum, and I look at the click-through rate, and I look at retention, and I look through getting people to do it. So the average view per viewer is what I look at. I want to get that up as high as I possibly can. If it's at 1, I want to get it to 2. If it's at 2, I want to get it to 3. If it's at 3, I want to get it to 4, until we get to the most optimal thing that YouTube's always bringing in new people. And they know that your content is going to fulfill with the average, okay, of what they're trying to accomplish, which is trying to predict what the viewer wants to watch. Okay, check. Keep them on the platform longer. Check. If you're doing that and you're doing that consistently, and they're binge watching your content, then your channel will have the authority of anything that comes up, even remotely. YouTube will be promoting your content, and you'll be able to explode. And I love it. I don't care who you are. We just had a Jumpstarter last year transform his life. He was living in a van, and times were tough for him. So he's like, I want to document things, right? And he literally saved up. He did a consult, but he saved up to have enough money to do my mentoring program. And he did the mentoring program, and he was able to have clarity. He was 70 some odd years old, but have clarity of how YouTube works. And he was having clarity of what the data meant. Like, he was intimidated just by computers alone, but yet this gave him the ability to know what it was. I mean, to have him make the most money he's ever made in his life this last year, or this year, is just heartwarming. And he's made a lot of money, you know, for a 70-year-old living in a van, driving around, doing what he loves to do. And so my reality is anyone can do it if you focus in on the right things. Anyone can be successful in 2024 if they focus in the right things, which is the viewer, using tools like AI to help expedite some things, not replace you, okay? Mindful. And then really try to make the best videos possible every single time. Try to improve, try to innovate, try to experiment, see if the experiment worked, look at your data. And ultimately, if you're making those type of data-driven decisions, that will, you know, help you. So like for me, my mantra is plan, execute, analyze, and adjust. All the students here that are in Channel Jumpstart, you know I say that a lot, because that's what it is. You have a plan, you execute on that plan, you analyze it, and you adjust it. Now, that being said, I'm going to be opening it up to questions here in a minute, but I want to kind of put a bow on this. YouTube has not changed since 2013. A lot of people says, oh, it changes every year. The algorithm is more complex. No, the algorithm's getting so good about people, and YouTube is about people. So if you want views and you want sustainability of the views, it's more about understanding who you're making content for and providing value, where they naturally share your video, where they say, hey, have you checked this person out on YouTube? You got to, right? They're seeing it on their YouTube channel, because YouTube's really good about that. And I can honestly say it hasn't changed much. Okay, now it's given us more tools, and there's more reach, and there's more eyeballs, you know, but ultimately YouTube's all about the end viewer, and always will be, and always will be. Okay, so that being said, with my son coming into 2024, he's laying out a plan, and I want to share with you the other part of it. Okay, so he put a plan together, he put several hundred ideas, and now he's going to need to experiment. Before he even starts his channel, I know he wants to do it in January. I won't let him until we have quality content. Okay, that's where that 100 videos come in. I don't think you need to make 100 videos. I think you need to understand what makes a good video. And sometimes you, as a person, needs to create 100 videos to understand what a good video is, okay? He's been surrounded by good videos. He knows what a good video is, what it sucks, what's good, what pulls it in. And to have a feedback group, you know, with people that understand audience development, people that understand good content, I will give him that. I won't tell him what to create, but I'll tell him this sucks here. because I do that to everyone. And he'll say, well, why? And because of this. Well, I don't think so. Well, let's test it out. Okay. But my whole point is he's going to make some videos. He'll probably make 20 videos that will never see the light of day. I can pretty much guarantee it probably won't see the light of day. They'll probably be like literally written off the face of the earth. And why would you say that? Why would I say that? Well, several years ago, Mr. Beast wanted to start a different YouTube channel. Okay. And we wanted to have Beast Gaming. 6 months we did Recon and research. Okay. 6 months we created content that never saw the light of day. And when it hit, it hit. It hit. And he was able to do that consistently and have the fastest channel to 10 million subscribers. And I can tell you this, not once did he push it from his main channel. Not once did he promote it from Twitter until he reached, like, it was like 3.5 million subscribers. He's getting a couple 100 million video views a month when he did that. Okay. He was able to grow it naturally. And I can honestly say he could do that within 3 months. He could have millions of views on any brand new channel. I've seen him do it. We've owned stuff that we've done it. Like I've done it, you know, it's possible. Okay. You just need to understand these details. So he doesn't need to make 100 videos because he already did. And with my son, he now needs to understand the pains of what it takes to make a good video. But I'm going to mentor him along the way. Okay. Of what is, because nothing's going to see the light of day until we have a good video. Maybe not a bad video, but a good video. Now, from that, we'll learn what to do based on how the audience reacts. We'll know if it's a good, better, or a best video. But what he'll do is know how to analyze it, what made it good, what made it bad, and he'll know how to adjust it. And that's that plan, execute, analyze, and adjust. Okay. Moving on. So if you have a question for me, if you want to succeed in 2024 on YouTube, go ahead and put it in the comments now. I had a couple super chats on my long discussion about things. And I want to start with the first one. Hudson Vintage, how to collect and sell it. Thank you so much for the super chat here. Greetings. Getting this question early in your Q&A. How important is it to connect videos at the end screen to a new channel? I started a second channel with one of your students. There we go. And we want to monetize we monetized in 3 weeks. Okay. So first off, congrats on the second channel. Rarely ever would I ever push traffic from one channel to the next. And the reason why is it might be a different audience. However, that being said, what I normally do is during the launch, I'll have 3 videos, and you should know this because you've gone through Channel Jumpstart, but I will do 3 videos on the new channel when I launch the channel so that when they get one, I have 3 chances for YouTube to put this content out there and people can find it. And then there's something for them to watch, not just one video. It's like, oh, there's 3 videos or whatever. Okay. I believe Matthew Patrick does 5 videos when he does a new channel. I do 3. But yeah, same concept. Okay. You want to be able to have them binge watch the content. Then I'm going to let it do it naturally. I'm not going to subsidize anything on the moment that that releases because I want YouTube to do its thing. Believe it or not, I want to give it 48 hours just to kind of do its own thing. And then I'll do a community post. That community post on the main channel and say, hey, just for those that are interested in this type of content, I'm going to do it over here. Only if you do believe that that's your audience. Okay, that is the type of audience you want to do. Now, that being said, there might be a video or 2 that you've created that is the similar type of content you're making on the new channel. Then I would actually put those as an end screen. But you didn't really do it and say, hey, I got a new channel over here. That CTA is pretty important. So I'd probably do a new video that's related to it and then do that one push over and then that's it. I wouldn't even do it anytime after that. Not even once. And the reason why is because that is what I do. Okay. That gold play button right over there, I got on in 28 days. I got 1 million subscribers, 28 days. And the reason why was I didn't push it from anywhere. YouTube figured out what my video was about. I had 2 other videos that was already made and people come on and these weren't short videos. They were like 20-minute videos a piece. So that was an hour's worth of content that they were consuming when they found one of the videos and they got the other two. They were there. They were just a really, really high click-through rate, really, really high retention rate. And my fourth video got 1 million views on it on release, and it just exploded. And then my fifth video got 2.5 million views on release within the first 28 hours. And I got to the front page of Reddit. But I didn't promote it from anything because none of my audiences were the same. However, Reddit, there was a subreddit. It was exactly my audience, and I was making it for them. And so it got picked up from there. Okay. Very good. Next one. I love the channel name. That's actually Tis Hot Mess History. That's one of my favorites. Thank you so much for the Vid Summit and the YouTube format. I'm in chapter 9 again, working on the content pivot as well. I'll get together to be ready for Channel Jumpstart in 2024. Seeing your clients is motivating. Look, I'm excited, and I can say that everything in Channel Jumpstart is in the book. We just go a lot more in depth on it. Chapter 9 is great. There's so much that's it's so good. But 10 is where it starts. The YouTube formula starts in part 3. Here is a secret. I've been holding this secret for a very long time. The YouTube formula is the most sold book about YouTube in the history of YouTube. I actually, the publisher, it's I think their first or second highest performing book they've ever published. You guys have been so great to buy the book. And I, believe it or not, this is one in 3 books. I have 3 books in me around YouTube and the economics of YouTube and so on and so forth. So we've been writing the second book, and I've been going through the process and going through the whole thing, and I get really excited. And the publisher reached out and says, hey, what are you going to do? And I says, well, I'm going to write these other books and whatever. And they says, well, would you do version 2 of the YouTube formula? I says, normally I wouldn't. And this is a book that I think that could bring value regardless of what it is. I know the algorithm's not going to change. And I thought about it, and I says, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And so I'm gonna do version 2 of this book before any of the other books comes out. And then what I'm gonna add to it is shorts. I'll talk about it just briefly here. I'm gonna do a short strategy, bring some case studies. I'm gonna refresh all the case studies in the book as well. And then I'm gonna do AI. There'll be AI for every freaking chapter. So that's what I'm gonna do. So there we go. Love that. Can't wait to mentor you in Channel Jumpstart too as well. Okay. Oh my gosh. Urban Van Life. Channel Jumpstart has honestly brought me down to earth so hard. It totally shocked me, and it hurts. It hurts. And it kind of sucked. But I soon realized that I can adjust and make better content for the right person. Now I have goals. Okay. Now, first off, look, you're just focusing on things that you thought you needed to focus in on. And the whole reason why I do Channel Jumpstart is to have you see YouTube the way that I see it. Okay, because I see it differently than a lot of people out there. And then when you come to the realization, it's like, oh crap, Joe's actually right. Because I showed you. And then 2, my favorite thing that happened the other day was when you're like, oh, I did Recon and research, and lo and behold, oh my gosh, you found it out. You finally found it out, which I'm excited. So you're gonna make some amazing content. Can't wait for you to for 2024. And it was great seeing you at Vid Summit for sure. Okay. How can I go from an average of 1 million video views per video to 5 to 10 million views per video? I'm making French videos, and there's eventually a limitation in those views. Okay, first off, great. I'm loving that people are making videos in their native tongue. I'm really excited about that. More so when somebody says, oh, we want to do English channels, but like what's your native language? And they say their native language. I'm like, well, why aren't you making it for your native language? You could be the first. Okay, so for you to go from 1 million to 5 to 10 million, you got to look at the X factor. Now, what I want you to do, this is like be super geeky, but I know you can be super geeky. Okay. Can you be geeky? say that you can be geeky in the comments, okay? But I want you to get all your I want you to go into YouTube Studio, go to Analytics, and in Analytics, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a thing called Advanced Mode. I want you to click on that, okay? And then right down, I want you to go to the Compare, and you're gonna create a group, okay? You just go click on it, go over to Groups, and hit a new group. And I want you to put high-performing videos as a group, and then click all your videos that got well over 1 million views, okay? Put them in that group. I don't care how old they are, just put them in that group. And then I want you to create another group. You can hit another group, and all your low-performing videos, and put them in that group, okay? Then I want you to go through that data. I want you to do it. You can do compare and contrast. You can do your big videos versus your channel. You can get very specific on it. Now, if you do shorts at all on that channel, I want you to take those out. So like in it, you can actually filter by content type. Make sure that the content type is for the long form videos, because this is where I think you're wanting to do it, so that you don't have any shorts data. I don't want shorts data on this. If we want shorts data, we do it another way. But ultimately, I want you to start comparing. And what I want you to look at is, what is the themes, okay? What is the engagement? I want you to go through those comments, and I want you to go through what is the value that's coming from there. Now, I can tell you for a surety that you can get 5 to 10 million views per video, because there isn't a limitation in the views in France, because it's not only French. I'm France that speaks French. You have Canada. You have other parts of the world in Africa. You have other parts of the world in the Caribbean that all speak French, right? What you need to do is be able to create content that appeals to them. And I think that you'll probably tap out around 10 to 15 million views if you're not all mainstream in French. But yeah, I think it'd be great. So that's what I would do. All right, next super chat question. I started YouTube in 2027. Not 2027. It's been a long day. 2007, making psychedelic drug trip reports, sober 10 years. I'm a full-time artist now. I'm trying to pivot to art videos. Is my best option to start a new channel or keep the current one? Okay, so here's the thing. I would really go through this video again and really observe what I focused in on. And I would make notes. I would go back and make notes of everything that I said. And then I would create a plan for a new YouTube channel, okay? And I want to know videos and go in depth on, recon and research of the type of videos you want to create and what channels that are similar to what you'd want to be creating, and get very granular on it, okay? And on that, I want you to go in depth of creating a video. And you might even do 2 before you even release it. I don't want you to put it on YouTube, but what does it actually look like? And then at the end of it, I want you to consider, does this deserve a brand new channel, or can I do it on my old channel? Now, you might say, oh, well, I worked so hard on this other channel and it's a decision. Well, put that as a con, and you can do your pros and cons and make the decision. Now, let me tell you what I know about YouTube, and this might help as a pro and a con. YouTube, as soon as you created the account, has been tracking your channel. And if it had a bump on the channel, YouTube knows about it. Okay, if it ever got flagged with copyright, YouTube knows about it. If it got demonetized because of certain types of content, YouTube knows about it, okay? And there's not a world that I would take a channel that has a really in-depth history of difficulty on YouTube versus a brand new channel, okay? I would just go for the brand new. And the reason why is you have a clean slate. And a lot of the people, like I was talking to someone yesterday, and they're like, oh, like, why would I start a new channel? I got like 500 subscribers here and it took me 5 years. Like, you could get that in one video, easy. You just got to know what you're focusing in on. So I'd go through the live stream, go through and make your plan, make those pros and cons, and then decide what you want to do. So congrats on that. It's awesome that you're sober. Okay. Oh, Mr. Tristan, I love it when my students come on. What AI tools should I be working on to help? Well, Tristan, I'm going to be giving you a call because you DM'd me and I haven't responded to you. I will, I promise. I love you. And we're definitely going to chat. I got to show you some stuff I've been working on. I know you got to show me some stuff you've been working on. And I saw that what you're doing with Harpa AI. Pretty cool. We got to chat on that for sure. But we'll definitely go from there. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, Nerdy Crafter. Jackie, how are you doing? Popping in to say hello. Definitely listen to all his info and knowledge. Daryl shares, big hugs. I can't wait to connect. I don't know where you're at if you're still up in Canada. We miss you. If you're ever down in this neck of the woods, we just got to connect. It's been way too long. Okay. All right, McKinsey Creates. Hey, I love this. Okay, I'm getting my play button 2024. I'm going to watch Kelton closely. I suck right now, but I am building my plan, working out my strategy, doing the reps, doing the work. I'm not afraid of hard work. Thank you. And you do amazing too. I really appreciate you as a person, as a coach. You've helped a lot of people, and I can't wait for you to really expand there. So I'm excited for you. Okay, I want to start doing YouTube videos. What is your best beginner tips? Okay, so what I would do, Chris, is go back through this video. I gave all the tips that I was giving a brand new person that's getting ready to start a channel in 2024. If you went through this whole, I gave a pretty in-depth hour of what I would do, where I should focus. And I would look at, I'll go a little bit more in depth. I would try to find like 10 channels that are similar to the type of channel that you'd be creating and say, what makes them unique? Why are people watching this? Why are people watching more of this video than the other? Go through the comments, try to understand who the viewer is. That will actually help you as well. So thanks for that super chat question. Okay. Kentucky Wash Pros. I have a pressure washing channel. It's how to day in the life of vlog style content. Should I just pick one of those and stick to it, or is my niche too specific? Okay, let me take a drink real quick. All right, my daughter watches a lot of TikToks, and I'll say TikToks because it's more than one. It really is. And she's mesmerized by the pressure washing channel. And they'll go in and just redo someone's driveway or pressure wash a sidewalk or whatever. And she's just in it. And she's like, Dad, I should just that's what my content should be. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were doing YouTube or TikTok or anything like that. I just love it. I just love those videos. And what the video is, and I just want to make it clear, even though that you have a company, it's about taking something that looks damaged, and it's really not. You're just giving it a makeup. Right. And that's that transformation. And that's what it's all about. And I'm here to tell you that some of those videos have 50 million, 60 million video views. I know, I've seen it. I saw it, And so what I would do is do about the transformation. Now there is a lawn cutting channel that works really well on shorts and long form. And they just go and it's almost ASMR where they go in and get really disastrous yard and then transform it. They knock on the door and say, hey, can I cut your lawn for free? Blah, 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 blah. It's great. Just find something like that. And if that's what it is for the pressure washing aspect, there's a lot of things that you can see that transformation of, which is really cool. And then too, the spinning head one, I don't know, the pressure washers you like that's great, but the one that has like a head on it, that's really cool stuff. So. All right, next super chat question from Blue to Green. All right, I have a channel with 127,000 subs, taken some long-term breaks before 6 months. Views are down drastically. Do we double down to try to revive our channel or do we start a new one? Okay, well, I can honestly say is Long-term breaks, I've been there. I understand it. I get it. You know, there's certain channels like this channel that I'm currently doing this live stream on. I don't care too much about really growing this channel. I just, when I feel like I'm going to do a live stream, I do a live stream. I haven't really posted a video like in 4 or 5 years, you know, whatever. And I always do a live stream, you know, but I do it away just to, you know, it's kind of outlet, you know, kind of, you know, got a Saturday that I can go talk. If I was going to be aggressive on this channel, I would be having the question, should I start a new channel versus do this one? Now, the question would be is what is the type of content I'm going to create? And if the content that I'm creating is a different audience, then there's not a world that I would do to put it on this one, unless there was some crossover, maybe 20-30% crossover audience, then I would consider it. And so don't worry about the new channel, old channel. Worry about what is your content strategy moving forward? Is it going to be different? If so, is it going to be a different audience? And then if it is there a blended audience? Would some of your audience actually watch this? And if so, okay, that's great. I can say though is YouTube's all about momentum, and YouTube actually understands creators need a break, and all it would take with one video to get back before you start getting momentum again. And I've seen it happen over and over again. So your first video back needs to be good, but your second video that's back needs to be the best video you've ever made. The reason why, because you can say, I'm back, and people will watch it regardless because they might miss you, you know, and then the next one just needs to be dope. But if you can get both of them to be the best videos you've ever made, that's great. What I would say is before I did anything, I would go back and realize what led to you taking breaks along the way. Was it mental health? Was it challenges of life? What was going on? And create a plan so that doesn't necessarily, like you can take time off without being absent on the channel. Let me divulge something, and this is true. The reason why I don't post actively on this channel is twofold. Number one, I own a company that produces a TV show. I'm passionate about this TV show. It's called The Chosen. And so most of my time is there, so I don't have a lot of time. Second reason is I went from an agency model where I was helping the biggest content creators, biggest brands on the planet, down to just focusing on my own companies. We actually own a lot of YouTube channels, as you can see behind me. And we just focus in on them, you know, and my team just treats them like a client. And I own both of them. So it's great, you know, and then I moved into group coaching. And so ultimately there's like, if you were to take one channel, I make more money on that one channel than combined, you know, on everything. And then if you take other channels that I own, I'll make a lot more money, you know, with less of my personal time. And so, you know, it's like, where do you put your time, energy, and effort? Now, don't get me wrong. This channel makes me money too, because it does group coaching and goes into Vid Summit and stuff like that. But it's like not even in the same stratosphere as the other stuff. So I love what I do. I love YouTube. I choose not to just be the YouTube educator. I love creating content on YouTube. The YouTube education is a way for me to give back. I know that seems weird, but it is. It is. I just want to give back. I've been blessed. And so it's a great way to bless others, and it fulfills with some of my mission that I have. So, alrighty. Holy cow. Homesteading Barndo. Okay, first off, I'm totally in the homesteading videos. I love homesteading videos a lot. Okay, hey, do I add a podcast content or should I add a separate channel? It's super relevant to the main content. I'm getting my play button as I'm a jump starter. Okay, love it, love it, love it. Have learned so much. Okay, so first off, there's not too many times that I would say don't start a new channel. I would literally say different format, different audience, different channel. I'm here to tell you that your type of content, I would just start a new channel as the podcast. And the reason why is it's this very predictable format. If the people like I want just to give you rationale. Okay. If the people like the podcast, okay, and let's say of your active viewers, let's say 20% of the people love the podcast. That's a very bad thing. Okay. 50% of the people that like the podcast, very bad thing. Okay. 80% of the people love the podcast and your other content. That's a very good thing. Okay. So I think it's just more about that. And I can say the type of content, I would just do it over here as a podcast, different format. It's not as engaging because it's not out and about. You're sitting in a studio. It's a different type of format. And so I would just basically start a different channel on that. Now, that being said, you can cross-pollinate where you're having people be aware, oh, so-and-so is coming in, we're doing a podcast on X, Y, or Z. Okay, great. You can check out my podcast. I do those type of CTAs, but I probably wouldn't link it much. So, hey, congrats on everything. All righty, next one. I just want to say thank you. Hope you and your family have a happy, quiet holiday. Well, bridal sewing techniques, let me tell you what today is. Today is my family's holiday. Okay, Costanzas have Festivus. The Eves, we have Christmas Eves. It is the day before Christmas. So every Christmas Eves is December 23rd. That is our holiday. And we have another holiday too. It's New Year's Eves. And like tonight, we're opening presents. We make a big deal. It's fun. It's engaging. We have so much. In fact, I'm working on my holiday because I love you guys so much. So like it literally is. I usually try to disconnect. This is a great way to disconnect. But anyway, I decided, you know what? I wanted to give back a little bit. So I came on here. Okay. How to automate. What are your thoughts on making specific how-to videos more in general to expand the audience? Okay. So I believe that you just got to look at what your finish line is. Why are you on YouTube? What are you actually trying to accomplish? And there's a lot of how-to step-by-step videos out there. And I just want you to know that when you do that, when they come to one video to get what you were giving them in the video, then that fulfills with that value proposition. Now, if you do it consistently with other how-tos, it could be around a niche, you might or might not get them to watch more. Okay, I have a student that had 2 YouTube channels, okay? And one's for his business, and then one's where he deep dives and geeks out over oil. If there's ever a case study that can be had, it's like there is a channel for everyone. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna give it to you because it's like you have to see this. You have to see this. Okay, and I don't think he'll mind here. Let me just pull it up here. It is just the best case study ever in the history of all mankind. Okay, here's his second channel. The Motor Oil Geek, okay? Okay, does pre-filling oil filter cause engine damage? Okay, so that could be how-to video, but it's more, does it cause damage? There's questions. 1.4 million views. And you think that he doesn't get a lot of views? Like ever since he's been doing Channel Jumpstart, he's nailing it, dude. He's getting it. He's figuring it out. He's figuring it out. So that being said, I love to understand the audience and move past the how-to, and maybe pull them in that way, but bring so much value that they want to go deeper. And when you geek out over anything, there's an audience for that. There's like 1.4 million people that watch the video. That's this Channel Jumpstart video. Like it works, like it does, but you got to understand. People might agree or disagree with it, and they're having conversations in it, and that's okay. He's talking about all the different things, what to do, but he's coming up with a claim, and it's great. It's great. So yes, I would definitely try to move into stuff just outside of how-to. So it could be how-to, but you kind of expand out where it goes a lot more in depth of what you should do. It'd be great. Okay. US plus dad, if you had to build a Roblox role-playing channel to 180 subscribers, mostly off shorts, would you create a separate channel for long form and live streaming? Wow, that's a great question. That's probably a really great question. So I'd need to look at the data on what you'd have. My question would be, does the channel exist now? If so, do you have all the different type of content? Is there shorts and longs? And then I would have to make the assessment on it. Now, that being said, I probably, just in my gut, without looking at the data, I probably would. I probably would not separate the channel, because most Gen Alpha, which is your audience here, consume shorts. And I would do the long form and the live stream on the same one. Maybe live might be different. I'd have to look on that one, but I can pretty much say the 3 formats I'd probably do on one channel. That being said, there is no world that I would actually turn on notifications for my short form content. So I would release it on that same channel, but I go to advanced mode and turn off notifications to every short. And the reason why is because if you did a short that's only like 7, 10, 15, 20 seconds, that's not a reason for them to be notified to go on to YouTube. They're going to get a little upset. And so I just do it for your long form videos. Now keep in mind, long form videos, the AI looks at it differently than short form videos. Short form, you'll notice that it doesn't really pop off out of the gate regardless, even if you have those recommended notifications on. But YouTube will get the eyeball on it. But the great reason is why you turn it off is because it still shows up on browse feature. There's a shelf for that. And then 2, it's a feed for anyone that was actively in your shorts. And so I do that, but I just turn the heck off that notification. I don't think notifications should ever notify someone of a short, ever, in the history of anything. And the reason why is I've seen the data. And I'm telling you, no matter how much they say it's fixed, or no matter how much they say it won't hurt, I would just never do it, personally, ever. Did I say ever? Ever. Jeez. No, I'm serious. Yeah. Tell me how you really feel, Daryl. Okay. RBers TV. Merry Christmas, Daryl. My channel exploded in 2023. Awesome, man. Recon and Research Daily was the secret I did jumpstart in 2021. We got a jumpstarter in the house. I love it. Plus, I make 2-hour plus long videos. I watch hours. Watch hours are through the roof. Thanks. Hey, Russell. Congrats, dude. I heard that your channel just took off, and I was really excited about it. Congrats on that, man. Justin was talking about it the other day, and so really grateful that you're able to have your life be benefited by something that I taught. Keep on keeping on. I'm just excited for you, man. Okay, the next one. What are the correct names and spellings of the channels you mentioned earlier? Ryan, okay, so on and so forth. Okay, so Ryan Trahan, just look it up. He's very popular on there. Zach King, okay, and then I don't know this Mary, Mark Rober, but yeah, and then 2 for the 12-week, you can just, there's a link in the description. You can apply for Challenge Jumpstart. We can get all the details for you there. I don't sell. I don't even tell you the price. You can figure it out. Just go through that process. So, but yeah, those are the ones that I told my son to look at because of the type of content and the audience that he was looking to build. And then also, some of those are the best storytellers of all time. So it's great. Smith Media Outdoors. I'm trying to break a view count goal and trying to improve at least 1% each video. Should I focus on thumbnails and titles for more eyeballs or retention? Okay. So you heard the chicken and the egg, right, Smith? I just know that when scientists digest the egg and what the egg was made out of, the chicken came first. Okay. So if they don't click, you can't watch. Okay. I'd focus in on your packaging first. And I would do this. I would do title, thumbnail, and hook. And that's your packaging from my point of view. And then I'd work on your retention. So that's what I do. I mean, you can do both at the same time, but I'd really hone in on the best title, thumbnail ever. So. Okay, moving on. 3D Brit. Okay, Should we use community posts or polls and learn more about our audience or sell them products and services to promote videos? Thanks for CGS. Loving it. Another CGSer. Look, I like to use the community posts and polls occasionally to get clarity. So I have a student, his name's Sean Kerr, Bikes and Beards, and I posed a question in one of our inner circles. They come to my house and we sit down for a couple of days and really deep dive into their stuff. And I posed him a question and he goes, "Oh, I think it's like 40% of the people that watch my channel don't ride the motorcycle." I says, "Well, let's validate that. Because I mean, you're saying that. I don't know if it's true. I think it is. Let's validate it." So he did a poll on his community tab, and it was literally 41% of the people didn't have a bike, but they watched his content. So that made decisions, and it made decisions on kind of the psychographics of how we communicate with them. So yes, I definitely do it, but don't overdo it. And don't have it feel like a survey question. Okay, Kimberly Vickers, Kids Art Attack. I'm trying to grow my 3 YouTube channels. One of them is kids channel. Kids is doing the best. Any tips, kids stuff, and all balance all. Okay. First off, it's really hard to maintain 3 channels. Trust me, I know. It's very difficult. I would put the most focus in on the one that is growing the fastest. I'd put the most energy and time. Okay, I'll share this. I had a kids channel, and won't go into the depths. Don't ask for the name. I just don't give names or anything like that. But it was bringing in 200 million video views a month, and my focus on it was an hour a day. My personal focus, because I got to figure out the title, thumbnail, and I needed to know what to buy because it is a buying type channel. And so that's what I would do. And I would do it, every day. And then I would always, part of that hour, I'd always upload the videos, so I was personally uploading it. Why would I upload those videos? Well, it was the highest amount of money I was able to make, for the hour that I put in. And so the hour that I personally put in was to approve the video, make notes for the editor, give discussion to the talent, and then do my recon and research, do the thumbnail, and upload the video. That channel made me millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, like it did. And there's just a lot of opportunity. So what I would do is on the 3 channels is figure out which one of the 3 is bringing the most money. Because if you can get the money in, you can start building and scaling a team and then leveraging them right way. I had someone, imagine this, graduating high school. Okay. Okay. If you're graduating high school, your beginning job, you made $40,000 a year. People would be ecstatic, right? Well, that person did. And as the channel grew, they're making $250,000 a year. Okay. Why? Because I'm going to give them a cut. Of course. So the whole thing about it is you can scale the team. Now I'd focus in on one, and then if there's other channels that you feel like could cross-pollinate, you could do some of that. I would just be very cautious if it's a different audience, whatever. But I would just go, what's the easiest for you to really build your business, and then really focus in on who to hire to help you scale it. So Remove It Pros Demo Junk Removal Finds. Oh, hey, good to see you. All right, looking for ideas for merchandising, sell books, ebooks, tools, branded t-shirts, hats, stickers. Got 400,000 views combined so far. Your subscriber count's going up. If I was to start on yours, you actually have one of the cooler logos. I like that rhino. I definitely would do a hat, like one signature hat and one signature shirt. Just have it out of the gate. And that's what I would do. I wouldn't do anything else. No ebooks, no nothing. Build your brand first as you're growing, that it's a part of it. And you're good to go, brother. And I'm excited to see that you're starting to focus in on these things. I love when my students do that. So, Okay, AI creative director. I'm starting a channel for creators, artists, and bringing them their visions to life using AI tutorials. Ideally, toots wraps in stories and channels, overarching stories. Any tips or channels doing it right now? I would say a lot of the channels that I'm watching in AI is around new technologies that are coming out and then the processes of those technologies. You probably see the same channels that I see because there's not that many out there. Well, there's a lot of shorts out there, but I mean, good long form channels out there. I would look at what's the value in it for them, you know, and is it just more, here's new tools coming up, here's how to leverage it to create, that's fine. But AI is going to get really complicated quick. And let me tell you why. Is because there's so many tools. You have the people that are just interested in AI and every tool out there. And yet you're talking about very specific people that would be using AI that probably wouldn't care about other stuff. And so you're going to need to know what you're going to cover and what you're not going to cover. And you're going to keep the guardrails on, because the moment that you start covering other stuff, you start getting a blended audience. You do not want a blended audience in that. So. Alrighty, Heart of the Handyman. If someone spent money on subscribers early and dropped off on the platform for a bit, and now is getting going again, should he start a new channel or pick up the same channel asking for a friend? Okay. If you spent money on subscribers, was it getting views or was it paying for subscribers? I don't know what that means. All I'm saying is if there's any hanky-panky going on, paid per view or paid per subscribe, I would abandon that channel and start brand new if it was me. And the reason why is you want everything to happen organically. There's not a world that I would think that you could buy a view and they would be loyal. You know, it's hard. It's hard. I did one case study in the book of the only time I seen ad campaign work, and I explained why that worked. But it was very geeky and not a lot of people can pull it off. And I was only able to pull it off once. So how many average views per video should I have before putting my face in a thumbnail? You can put a face in the thumbnail immediately. I don't think you need to wait. I think it's part of your branding if that's the direction you want to go. And so I don't think you need to wait for any of that. You might see that, oh, that's, you know, someone, Decoy Voices channel, whatever, as they see your face and it's just a quick glance. That's how branding happens. You know, so like, I don't think that everyone needs a thumbnail on the face in the thumbnail. I don't think you need to do that in all of them. But if you want to start building you as that person, that brand, and it's an extension of, yeah, I definitely include you in the thumbnail. Okay, my channel is not getting to a broad audience no matter what I can do, even past videos that blew up. What should I do? Okay, well, don't know what your channel's about, but looking at your avatar, kind of if it's martial arts, I don't know. There's certain things that you can look at. What I always like to do is go deep into the content and try to figure out, you know, what videos performed, and I go through the comments and see what people are actually saying, not what the data says, not the views or the comments, but the individual comments. And I look for patterns for that. Sometimes there's things that trend really heavy at different times of the year and things that don't. So like one of the things that worked really well during COVID was home gyms. Like everybody was working out from home, and it just naturally happened, and people were looking for things. And so a lot of home trainers on YouTube, their channels just exploded. Well, now they're not. And they're thinking, well, why isn't it working? YouTube hates me. Well, no. Like there was just a lot more active people in it. And so I would definitely go through the comments, see what you can do on that. All right, we're going to do three more super chat questions, and I'm going to call it a thing because it's Christmas Eve's. It's my family's holiday, similar to the Costanzas, Festivus, except we don't yell at people. There's no feats of strength. We just hang out and have fun. I have a dancer fitness YouTube, and I was thinking good lives, but music is where I have an issue. What should I do to copyright music or on a live? Any advice? Okay, so look, music's always complicated. It is. Copyright is always complicated. It is. AI music is not complicated. I'd probably look at some AI music and get it uniquely for you. That's what I would do. I don't think I'd do anything popular. Sorry. It's just, you're going to have issues the whole time, but that's one thing I would use AI on for sure. Or you could use music through YouTube Music, but like their own library. But some of that's just horrible. So I have a gaming channel that's done well covering news, secrets on a few specific games. Best advice on pivoting to more evergreen content that gets views to come back more for me, or just the game. Yes. Like, I think staying up to date on the game, it just really depends on the game itself. So don't know what the games are when there's specific news. If it's around a certain type of game, you could start playing the games and engaging with it. It just really depends on the game. I'll be honest with you. Good one to check out would be Judo Sloth. I did an interview with him on this channel. Just go back through live streams and then just check out Judo Sloth. He covers Clash of Clans. He was doing a lot of news updates and secrets, and now he had an evergreen strategy of people that were coming into the game of how to level up quickly. Those are great evergreen content that just brings a ton of use for him. Okay. All right. Last question. Benjamin, how much data / views is needed on a new video for YouTube to know or keep getting impressions? Okay. For YouTube to know to keep giving impressions. Okay. So how impressions work? This is probably really misunderstood. YouTube is going to put your title and thumbnail out to the world, and you're going to get impressions on that. And based on what the people do and what they don't do, YouTube's either going to go give more impressions or retract. Okay, if they do it, the first thing they're looking for is when they see that title and thumbnail, which is an impression, if they click on it, that's a click-through rate. And if you're getting a high probability of them clicking on it, you actually will get more impressions. Now, YouTube's going to gather more data from that. They're going to look at the click-through rate. So it might be a really amazing click-through rate. You could have like 30, 40, 50% of people seeing it, clicks on it. Okay, great. But what they do next is the retention. So YouTube's looking at the retention of the video. How long do they stay on the video? Is it above average? Is it average? Is it below average? You know, YouTube's going to see that. And based on that, those two factors, YouTube's going to get it out to more people. Now, here's the thing, okay? YouTube, I've seen this over and over again. They're going to hit a point where they pull it back, and then they might wait a couple days and then get it out bigger, and then pull it back and then go bigger. That's when YouTube's finding new audiences for it and testing audiences, because YouTube's always testing audience. But as soon as it finds its audience, you'll see maybe that video in 20, 30, 40 days just skyrockets, gets all these views going in. Well, it found its audience. And that's what YouTube's doing. So what YouTube does is two things. It's going to test to see if the content's good for your active viewers. It's going to look at your current active viewers first. It's going to base it on the homepage and also suggested videos if you had other videos in your library. The second thing YouTube's going to look at is momentum. So if you had released a video prior that got 10,000 views, your next video that you upload, it will actually have 7x the impressions of the view count. So if you had 10,000, it'd be 7x more on impressions out of the gate. So go out to a wider audience, and then based on that click-through rate, like they're not even looking at the view count. Based on those impressions, if that higher click-through rate, then YouTube is going to either expand it out and then go start looking on the retention. And that's what's going. So when you get momentum, it's always about, hey, how many people are seeing it and how many videos you're going to get and how many video views you're going to get, because that's going to give you more impressions for your next video. Your next video is probably more important than your current video. That's why we're always improving and really looking at that data. All right. So really grateful for all of you. Just want to close on this. Look, I love to nerd out with YouTube. You can get my book, YouTube Formula. There's a link in the description below. You can buy it on Amazon. It's in multiple languages. I think we're in 7 languages, which is great. My goal in 2024 is to help you become successful. And there's several ways to do that. I have a 30-day creator challenge. It's free. You can go do it. You can find it in the link below. I have a YouTube mentoring program that's about to get an overhaul. And those that actually have gone through Channel Jumpstart, my mentoring program, my mantra is once a Jumpstarter, always a Jumpstarter. You don't have to pay for it. It's going to always be improved, but it's going to get a major overhaul in 2024. We're including shorts, and we're also including, well, we actually include shorts already in it because Jenny's a great case study of that, but it's going to be more geared specific to the short strategy as well. And then we're doing AI. AI is actively involved in it, so that is happening. And if you've come through, Channel Jumpstart, make sure you look for emails coming out. We have some really big news coming out at the beginning of the year. But once a Jumpstarter, always a Jumpstarter. You don't have to pay for it again, so you can go through the next cohort. I am really excited for 2023 because I have some plans for YouTube that would include you. And I'll be doing some announcements, doing some things. In addition, I mean, the bulk of my time, like literally the bulk of my time is on that TV show I'm producing, and we're starting season 5 production, and there's a lot of fun things that's happening. Got a couple other things happening with that as well. And so that's kind of my main focus, but I got a lot of things. I've built and scaled a team that we can actually provide more. And so I'm actually going to start pivoting some things that you guys are going to be all a part of. So for all of you that are still on this live stream after 2 hours, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and today is Christmas Eves. If you're an Eves, happy holidays. That is our favorite holiday of the year, and really hope that you can be successful on YouTube. Now, what I would do during this downtime is really enjoy, just disconnect, but figure out what you want, because come the first of the year, 2024, you put the energy and effort and time into doing what is important. And I told you what I would do to be successful in 2024 in this live stream. So go back, take notes, give the clarity that you need, and put together a plan to do it consistently without overdoing it. I don't want you to overdo it, because when you overdo it, then you're not consistent. We want you to be consistent. And ultimately, consistency is what actually will bring you success. Have a consistent voice, consistently hitting this certain type of viewer, and the viewer receiving a consistent type of value. And that value proposition is going to connect with them where they want to share naturally to people that will get it. And then ultimately, YouTube's going to see those patterns of finding the right type of people, watching the right type of videos. And that's how you're going to grow on YouTube. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on the